Hi, my name is Royal Washington. I've been a resident of Tucson for about 40 years. This is what I call my hometown. I was a military brat. We came here from Germany about 67, and we moved to the east side, and it was a very wonderful life. Everything was, as they say, peachy keen, hunky-dory. There weren't a lot of minorities over there. People were people, people are people, wherever you go. And I had the opportunity to go to junior college and University of Arizona. And I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology. And I found out that pretty much what I could do would be to be a manager or a counselor, of which I had already had the opportunity to work in the mental health field prior to obtaining my bachelor's. I had worked at Palo Verde Hospital, University Medical Center. So I wound up teaching public school for about 20 years. And I retired, and before I retired, my father was sick, and he passed away at the VA hospital, and he shook my hand, and I saw his spirit rise, and he said, "Take care of your mom and your 5 sisters." I thought that was an awesome challenge because my dad was an excellent provider, very good military, kind of strict man. My mom was a loving, really involved woman, and she lives in Phoenix now. Well, after a series of years taking care of and looking out for things at the house, my sisters moved to Phoenix and started becoming more successful and getting better jobs and bigger houses. And me and Mom, we were here living comfortably payday to payday. And there would be times where my sisters didn't have time with their busy schedule to, remember birthdays or come down for Christmas. So I would counsel my mom about it. She's a really good friend of mine, as well as a great mother. And I would find myself drinking. At that same time, my oldest sister got a disease called Lou Gehrig's disease. And she had a terminal illness that was said she would have 3 years to live. She lived 14 years gracefully and taught me a lot. I was a care provider, and me and Mom, we would see her 2 or 3 times a day. She eventually went to a nursing home, and I continued to drink and got involved with substance abuse. And after she passed away 5 years ago, I was at great peace because I was there for her and I did the best I could. But my sisters got my mom to move to Phoenix, and I kind of lost myself more than ever because I didn't feel I had much purpose. After being a teacher or a care provider, always giving towards others, I couldn't imagine what life would be like if I wasn't giving for myself. I mean, what is life if you're not giving to others? It's kind of a tricky thing in the 12-step program where it's to hold on to your recovery, to hold on to sanity. It's essential that you take care of yourself first, the self-preservation rule. But I always felt so much better when I was able to help someone else. But now I'm learning balance to such a great degree that I try to fit in a daily meeting at Still and Sober meeting place at 8 in the morning. I have a home group called Smoke Free Nooners at 12 that I try to make on a daily basis. I have struggles with staying clean because of people, places, and things. I allow other people's needs or other people's choices to influence me, of which brings me to the point of being with a mental health provider. I've been with Kodak for some time, and then somehow I got dropped or lost, and so now I'm with COPE. So I'm looking forward to one-on-one services, counseling services, to try to deal with personal issues, because I understand the use of alcohol and drugs is just a symptom. But one of those symptoms, or both those symptoms, have brought me to homelessness, where when my mom moved to Phoenix, the home we lived in for 40 years, it was to be sold. But when I wasn't there, people would break into the house, and anybody interested in buying it were immediately turned off. So it was going into foreclosure, partly because of the subprime loan situation and the lack of anyone paying for the second mortgage, because my mom had moved to Phoenix. And So I was determined to live there, but my sisters felt that they should just sell it. We wound up selling the house, and before it was sold, I wasn't welcome at the home that I was taking care of for over 20 years, and because the substance abuse issue and people that were involved, people I was involved with, they didn't want to stay clean. They didn't want to get clean. I didn't want to get clean. I just kind of wanted to die because I had failed my father after so many years of maintaining and staying the course. So today, I have a fresh start. I talk with my mom regularly. I went and saw her for her 76th birthday in Phoenix.
I lived a normal married life, 30 years, and I worked for Lockheed Martin Aerospace. And during the first part of the 90s, the White House went through a defense program and cut back defense and shut down airports and factories and everything on top secret aerospace. And 10,000 of us in California were just laid off without any clue on where we were going or where our life was going. And I couldn't get another job because I was overqualified from my 30 to 20-some years in the aerospace. So yeah, I ended up living off my wife, and then my wife couldn't carry me all, and then we ended divorce. And June 6, 94, I'll never forget, it was the first day I was homeless. And it was a complete turnaround in my life, and it was like being thrown out in the Black Forest, you know what I mean? And every man fend for himself. But over the years, since 94 and now, I have been through a twilight zone that you could never even imagine. Most people don't, when they see homeless or they see homeless people, they don't even have the depth of the charts of where they're at. And if you're not there and you've never been there, you will never know, because it's like you're left with nothing, and you have to take both sides of nothing and make something out of it. You know what I mean? And you're so overloaded with rejection and denial and setbacks that they saturated all the positive in you. And this is the hardest part for homeless, is try to deal with this situation with the door slammed in your face. It's so hard to get up and knock on another door, you know. You have to try to go over across town with a pair of size shoes that are too big on you, no socks, and make it to the dinner, and you smell so bad they won't let you in. You know what I mean? Lay up overnight, have to wait for the next breakfast to come, and you don't know what your next meal's coming, your next friend's coming. You're caught in a real color buying twist with relationships, black, Mexican, Indian, Jap, white, you never know. Next, it's very confusing, and what happens is you all have to bond together to form one foundation, one family, and try to survive.